Hi, I'm meteorologist Tony Petrarca in the Pinpoint 12 Forecast Center. Thanks for logging on to our Facebook page and our live Facebook update, taking a last look at the season's first winter storm, which is gradually winding down. If you have any questions, we can take those in a few minutes. But, still feeling some modest impacts as the storm pulls away. Of course, the wind has been very gusty on the backside of it. We've had a rapid drop in the temperature. Wind chills in the single digits. And we look at the Doppler radar over the last 12 hours overnight and early this morning. At times, we had snowfall rates of 1, 2, even 3 inches per hour. And generally statewide, of course, depending on your location, picking up anywhere from about 8 to 12 inches of snow. And what's interesting on the Doppler radar is that we have one more band of snow showers coming through. And actually, some of them are briefly heavy. This won't last very long, but this is actually the tail end of the snow. We're getting some bands of almost look like snow squalls in some areas. So these should be brief. It may add just a very small accumulation on top of what we've picked up already. And really a storm that pretty much did as expected, not really pulling too many surprises as far as the timing and the amount of snow. Take a look at, first of all, of what fell. It's pretty close to what we were forecasting on our accumulation map last night, but generally 6 to 9 on the immediate South Shore, inland 8 to 12, and picking up in that purple zone, which does include northern Connecticut and far northwest Rhode Island up through Worcester County, anywhere from 12 to 14. We actually, a number of locations in northwest Rhode Island were coming in with about 12 inches of snow. We have a few specific towns. Yeah, let's take a look. Smithfield, 12. Cumberland, 11. West Greenwich, a foot. Warwick at 11. Down in Narragansett, we had a little rain and sleet mixing in for a time, but you picked up a decent snowfall, and we'll head over to Norwood, Mass. 13. Franklin, Mass. That's just over the border of Rhode Island, north of Woonsocket. 10 inches of snow. Attleboro picking up 8. New Bedford at half a foot, and Nantucket, where a good deal of rain and sleet was involved, at about 3 inches of snow. Anybody, if you took a measurement in your backyard and you want to shout it out right now, or Nick, what do we have? Anybody?
Yeah, Cheryl just said Johnston, 12 to 13 inches.
Yeah, Cheryl, that makes sense because a lot of communities around you were coming in that 11 to 12. I appreciate the measurement, and sometimes it's hard to measure because it was so kind of windswept and blown. There's a little bit of drifting and things like that, but yeah, that more than likely that's an accurate measurement. So, weather spotter, thank you. Anybody else?
Somebody was asking specifically about locations. Westerly?
Yeah. Oh, good. A good question. Actually, we had a report of, I forget his name now, in a very reliable weather spotter, like 8 or 9 inches of snow in the westerly area. Even though Narragansett had like 6 or 7, westerly ended up picking up a little bit more. Take a look at. All right, we're looking at pictures in East Providence. All right, there you go. So we saw that snow squall on the Doppler radar. And it may be hard to see from this camera vantage point, but it is snowing once again in Providence with some reduced visibility. So this is the last of the snow showers. The DOT did an excellent job on the highways. They're down essentially the bare pavement. That's not to say that the roads are bone dry and bare. I mean, the temperature is well below freezing. So just, some common sense, especially some of the secondary roads. No surprise after a decent snowstorm that the neighborhood streets, while plowed, are obviously slick. So be careful. And I did notice coming into work, until the sidewalks are cleared, I noticed a lot of people, even some kids, kind of walking in the road. They're forced to because the sidewalks are covered. So when you're driving, be mindful that, the pedestrian traffic, some of it's been forced out on the road rather than the sidewalk. So be careful on that. Actually, there are still a few. You can go to our website, WPRI.com. There's still a few lingering parking bans until early this evening as well. So storm pulling away, but over the next roughly hour or two, still getting some snow squalls coming through. They won't last very long. And then just frigid temperatures and dry conditions overnight tonight. And you do want to watch for some slick spots.
Alec was saying 12 inches in the western part of Cranston.
Yes, in fact, my brother-in-law is in Western Cranston, and he can attest to, because he's been snow blowing all morning with his snowblower, that there's about anywhere from 10 to 12 inches in Western Cranston. As far as power outages, haven't really seen too many reports of anything significant, so some good news there. The dry, while there is snow obviously clinging to the trees, the drier the consistency of the snow, obviously the less weight it has. So that may have helped.
Karen and Foster were saying 13 inches.
Yes, we've had reports of 12 to 13 inches. I received a video from that area on a back deck, and yeah, definitely a foot of snow in that. But is that Karen and Foster?
I believe so.
Yeah, Karen. That's for Foster. Yeah, that's a walk in the park for Foster, right?
Hope 13 inches.
Yep, Hope all making sense. And that's pretty much, if you were watching us over the last a couple of days, we were forecasting up to a foot or more in the northwest part of the state, and they're pretty much coming in between. We're seeing amounts in that area between 10 and about 13 inches of snow. So it's a decent snowfall. All right, so that's the latest. Don't forget, coming up on 12 News, starting at 4 o'clock, we have team coverage, a look back at the storm, the cleanup, which continues. Watch for those icy spots tonight, frigid temperatures, and we'll keep you updated. In the meantime, some of these brief snow squalls coming through right now won't last very long. So thanks for logging in. We'll talk to you soon.